Hi everybody, my name is Lily and welcome to today's video. Today I want to yap about why I love lists so much. If you saw my very first video on this channel, you would know I have this ginormous life planner which I use to track everything I want to do in life. And that means there's a bajillion million lists, and I use lists for just about everything. In fact, I even have a list for why I love lists so much. I think they're just the best things ever. They are perfect, and I wanted to get into that today and encourage you guys to use more lists in your life, because I have a little planner I use lists for. I have a whole notes app I use lists for. I use it on my Google Docs, use it on Discord. Lists are the best. Starting off with, it's fun. Lists are just so fun to write. It's such a quick way to get down your thoughts, and you could do it for just about anything. You can make a list of the best cafes in your town. You could make a list of all your favorite board games, your favorite movies. Lists are just, they're versatile. Lists are incredibly versatile. You can use them for just about anything. I use lists for projects. I use lists for my daily to-dos. I use it for my hopes, my dreams, to keep track of birthdays, to keep track of the foods I eat, to keep track of basically everything. Everything I have at this point has a list. In fact, I plan on making a mega list of every single item I own just to keep track of it all, otherwise it leaves my brain the moment it's out of sight. Right now, I'm probably forgetting like a bajillion items that I own that I just don't remember because it's not in my direct line of sight right now. And I love lists. Lists just help me because I have such bad memory issues, and because of those memory issues, it can be hard for me to remember things. So having a list really does help. And of course, you can use it for, because it's so versatile, for short, medium, or long-term projects. In fact, I use it for all three. For the short term, I have a little booklet, which is for my daily to-dos. I have a have-to-do list, which is for general, maybe not directly that day, but in general the next week. I have want-to-dos for the exact same purpose. I have project bucket list, or not bucket list, project, what do I call it? Priority projects, which are like medium to long-termish, depending on what the project is. And then finally, all my bucket lists are more long-term. So you can use it for just about anything, honestly. And I find lists are also one of the best ways to figure out your own thoughts. In terms of both creativity and you-wise, sometimes when I journal, often I make little lists of whatever I'm talking about. I'll be like, here's what I did today, and I'll have little bullets of everything I did, and then I'll talk about each one a little bit more in depth and how it made me feel. Or if there's something I just can't seem to get out of my head, I'll start making lists about it. That's one way, as well as if I need new inspiration for a new drawing, a new art project, a new project in general, I start making lists. The first few things that come to mind what I want. It's gonna be an OC, I want to be from this fandom, I'm thinking like a red color scheme, etc., etc. And that's what I end up doing. And I encourage everybody else to have a system. In fact, I love lists so much, I have a list of the system I use for my lists. It becomes pretty meta after a while. It's a little bit ridiculous at some point, but if it works in my opinion. And for me, lists work really well. So I encourage everybody here to go out there and make a list about anything you want. Make a list about your favorite hobbies, make a list of anything. And of course, what I think everybody should do is make a bucket list. This is me sliding this in here. Everybody should make a bucket list of all of the things you like really want to get done in your life. You can do get married, ride a hot air balloon, bungee jumping, or you can get really specific like I do and specifically write down make a cat balloon animal. I get really specific with my lists. But I encourage you to go out there and make your own bucket list, because my life planner is the best decision I ever made to create, even though it's not updated. I have subscribers for that. I keep it updated personally though, and I have done so much this year, and it's such a great way to look back at the things I've done. It helps my memory, it helps me remember things, it helps me just appreciate all of those little things, because mine is really just about those little things. And sometimes I purposely do things off the bucket list, other times it comes naturally, like every video I make goes on that life planner under the 2025, under the date I make it. And I just love that. It helps me see what I've done in my life. And I know in 10 years when I look back at all these different lists, I can see exactly what I did on a certain day, and I can be like, oh yeah, I actually surprisingly remember that. lists are just great for memory. If you're like me and you have some memory issues, you know, you get foggy sometimes, you forget why you enter a room, that sort of thing, lists are really they're a great help. Lists are probably one of the best aids I could ever recommend to somebody with autism as well. They're just such a great way to get information down for somebody, especially since if you're autistic, you might struggle with getting your words out. I know my boyfriend does, he also has autism. Shout out to Upgrade TV, of course. Everybody go watch his videos. He does really great stuff right now. He's doing a lot of Subnautica content, and I am loving it. I love Subnautica, though, so that makes sense. But he had a hard time with expressing himself a lot, and lists can also help with that. I know I used to have a lot of hard time expressing myself, and then I used more lists, and then I was able to just write down everything that was coming to my mind at one point. If I was having trouble getting down a certain thought or feeling, I would start writing everything around it, and eventually it would all come together into something. And I think that's what lists are really about. Bringing things together to make something amazing. I know this was a little bit short, a little bit shorter video. I just wanted to talk about lists because I use them every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see a bajillion lists on the internet. I love lists. I use them for literally everything. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye!